Where did we leave it, Howard? What page?
11.
We left off 12, page 12. There were 4 lines from the top. 4 lines from the top of page 12. Ela briyosa shel adam. He quoted the Mishnah Pirkei Avos. Bar kochach ato nolad. Right? Against your will, you've been formed, you're born. So he explained, because really the neshama, according to the Midrash, it's like a villager, a commoner marries a princess. Whatever he values to be special to the princess means nothing. Means nothing. So the neshama, being a spiritual being, comes into this world, physicality's world, whatever it is, cannot satisfy, has no relevance to the neshama. So what's the value? Therefore it's bal korcha chaton nivro. So what is the neshama? What does the person come into this existence? Man was created because of the situation, the ultimate in Olam Valkein. Therefore, it was infused, endowed with the neshama, this exalted component. Ki lo roi lavod bo, lavod, uvo yuchal odom lekabel hasochim mekomos mano. Because only through that, the neshama is it able to achieve and be worthy of that reward in its location and its time. And as a result of that, the physical world is not a detestable location. It's a necessity, because only through that is the neshama able to achieve what it has to achieve. Every moment is an opportunity, an infinite opportunity. And especially understanding that, it says Azman Kotzer, right? Time is short. Hamlocha Meruba, tremendous amount of work to be done. Habal Bayis Dochik, but Apodam Atzelim, right? The workers are lazy. Everybody's distracted. He says, now this is very important. After we know this, once we know this, Novin miyad chomer ha-mitzvos asher aleinu v'yikor avoda asher b'yodeinu. Now, once you know this, you know immediately the seriousness or the incumbency of mitzvos, which is upon us, and the preciousness of the avoda, of the service asher b'yodeinu, which is at hand. Every moment has infinite worth. So every moment you don't utilize, what are you giving up? You can't make something up. Time, once it's lost, because every moment, it's another opportunity. You can't make up what you didn't, what you missed. That's life. The Rechaim HaKodesh at the beginning of Vayichi, it says, Vayikru Yemei Yisrael Lomos. The days of Yisrael came. Immediately he summons Yosef. So Rechaim HaKodesh asks, how did he know? How do you know his days were near? Right? So he explains, he says something interesting. I'm not sure if people who read it in English, but it's paraphrased. I'm sure he brings it. See, he explains, based on the Zohar, that the neshama itself has so many sparks. He refers to them as Nitzotzei Kedusha in the neshama. Every day in your life, you have an opportunity, an obligation to perfect that spark. How do you perfect it? Through Torah mitzvahs. What happens if one day you don't study, you don't do mitzvahs? That spark detaches itself from the neshama in a sense, unperfected, in an imperfected state. You perfect it, or to the degree it ascends in that perfected state. At the end of one's life, you've expended most of the sparks, and when that happens, you can find a person who's brilliant, and a person had a phenomenal personality. The person all of a sudden becomes feeble when they get older. That feebleness is because the majority of the sparks have already been expended. He says, what happens if a person once does tshuva? He says it's a gift. Hashem allows the spark to come back, and even the spark that you missed, you're able to perfect it at a later date. He says that's a chesed elyon, that's a gift of God, that's a kindness of Hashem. And he says at the end of one's life, Alan, as a doctor, could attest to this fact, he says you find people right before they pass away, all of a sudden, they're alert and they're capable, and a few moments later they pass away. Why? Based on a pasuk in Tehillim, because at the end of one's life, what happens is all the sparks come back, and then the person passes away. So because those tzotzi and the neshama come back, therefore that reinvigorates the person in a very serious way. Clarity, speaks as if it looks like he's recovering, and then it's over. Because the neshama always, when it departs as the whole neshama. So that's why all the various components or sparks have to be put back in place. Then the neshama as a whole entity leaves the body. Just tell you, this is the Orach Chaim, it's based on the Zohar. Okay? No, it's a semi-detachment. It is a semi-detachment, but the person doesn't necessarily feel it. A Yaakovinu was that special level. He was able to detect that he's at that point. He's at the very end.
So absolutely certain, Rabbi, that you were not citing Sporma.
This was I said it was the Orach Chaim HaKadosh.
No, but I know, but you started out by saying citing Sporma.
No, I did mention. I mentioned Sforno regarding Vayido Maro.
Oh, Vayido.
Vayido. No. That was Vayido Maro. That was a consolation. Because he saw the value of his children's lives.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, just one moment. He says, once you know this, you accept this, Novin miat chomer ha-mitzvos asher aleinu v'yikor ha'avoda shebiyodenu. Ki hine Elohim hem tzoim ha-mavinos el hashlimus amiti. These are the mediums which bring a person to true completeness. Asher bil odam lo yusa klal. Without them, you cannot achieve anything. One moment. Good.
Is there a storage place in heaven for all the sparks that are going up?
Okay. We once mentioned Rav Chaim V'Loshen Nefesh HaChaim. Olam Haba, Gehenna. Is there a location called Olam Haba, or is there a location called Gehenna? What would you say? There is no such location. So he explains, also based on the Zohar, we say mitzvah guras mitzvah, avera guras avera. Okay, it's a Mishnah, Pirkei Avos. He says when a person does a mitzvah, it creates a spiritual energy. The majority of that energy, immediately when you create it, detaches from this existence, ascends to Olam Haba, goes to another location, the spiritual realm. There's a trace of that remains with the person, which draws him to do more. It's like lahavdil, the person has an addiction. You start craving, you want more of the same. So if it's kedusha, the trace causes you to want to do more of the same. That's mitzvah guras mitzvah. If a person sins, it creates an impure spirit. It detaches itself, and some of that remains, and you start craving for more of the same, of impurity. After a lifetime, you've accumulated, with, if you're fortunate, enormous amount of this spiritual energy. That's one's olam haba. The accumulation of all the mitzvahs that you've generated, all that spiritual energy, Gehenna chas v'sholem is all that negative energy. That impurity that you've created, you have to deal with that. The person has to deal with that after he dies. Until it's fully absorbed and purged from his neshama, he doesn't ascend. Let's say the person has nothing to show for his life, not even an iota of positive, he has no olam haba. That's you have the ability to store it away. But if, let's say, a person is a heretic, he forfeited his olam haba, so he has no relevance to that. Or never did any mitzvah in his life. He's going nowhere. He goes into the oblivion.